Teaching is a great job. In my opinion, it is the greatest job. You're with children all day long. Children will not judge you when you make mistakes. Children will help correct you when you misspeak yourself. Even if you were never the best student yourself growing up, that does not mean that God can't use you to be a good teacher.
Teaching is a wonderful profession because you have all of these children and young people that are entrusted to you for many hours, and you have the full support of their parents and the support of the community at large in what you're doing during that school day. And while that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure, it is tremendously rewarding.
Teaching is the best job in the world because you get to spend your day with a number of children, maybe young, maybe old, and each one of them comes with unique abilities and backgrounds and talents and dreams, and you get to spend all day with them every day, and they will challenge you, they will astonish you, they will inspire you to work so hard for them.
I'll start by saying this: a teacher does not have to be perfect. I've learned that. You will make mistakes, you learn from them and move on. God's grace is new every day. But a teacher does have to be godly, mature, and patient.
The type of impact that I can have as a teacher is much greater than I even realize. I taught younger kids in my first few years of teaching, and at that age their teacher is an all-star. Teacher is number one. It doesn't matter what the teacher says, they think he or she is the greatest thing. Then as they get older, things change a little bit, and you have to realize that they don't tell you that they appreciate what you're doing, but it's amazing how much they do appreciate what you're doing, even though they don't tell you directly.
And if I think again about the best teachers I've ever had, those are the teachers who are able to seamlessly integrate a wonder and awe for God's creation into the material that they were teaching. And that to me is critically important, is having that influence of teaching students how to think about God all the time and what they're learning.
You know, everybody's work, they have certain things about the job that an outsider would look at and say, I can't believe you do that for a living, or I could never do that. And for me, in teaching, the biggest joy is when I have 20 plus students, high school students, looking back at me with that look of, you know, go ahead and teach me something, and just the challenge of interacting and engaging them for those 45 minutes. And all that interaction is really what brings me the greatest joy.
There are so many moments in the day, in one school day, that brings me joy as a teacher, and one occurs every single morning. No matter what kind of morning I've had, when I'm standing in the hall to greet the students, I have joy. Here comes God's covenant children that He loves, and I have the privilege to teach them. When I view a student in the classroom helping another student, often without even being asked, that brings me joy. When I'm in the gym and I see a gifted athlete pass the ball to a not naturally gifted athlete just to include him, that brings me joy. When I see students go out of their way in the hallways in order to comfort or befriend another student, that brings me joy.
I find a lot of joy in seeing my former students take their place in their work and creation in the kingdom of God, whatever vocation that is, whether they are working in the field, whether they are working in the office, whether they're working as a mother in a home, to see them taking their place as a Reformed Christian.
Outside of parents, few people have as much impact on a young person than teachers. And I go back to dropping my first child off at kindergarten, and to pull up to a Protestant Reformed school and drop that little 5-year-old off and see him walk up into the building, it gave me great confidence and peace of mind to know that I was sending him to a Protestant Reformed school where the teachers loved that child and would watch over that child and would teach them in the right way, the way that I would teach them or want them taught. I get goosebumps just saying that right now. But when you have a love for a child as a parent and you can bring them to somewhere where you know that they will be loved and cared for, there's no greater peace than that.